Good morning, everyone. How are you all? I hope you all are doing good. I'm also doing good. Okay, so today we are going to study about cell. So, what is cell? Why it is so important? Why it is so vital that we need to study? So, for a human existence, for a living existence on Earth, we need to study about cell. So, cellular organization is the fundamentals of our living organisms. Every living organisms is made up of what? That is called cell. So cell is the basic unit of life. Our body is made up of what? A trillions of cells. A tiny ant is made up of what? Cell. A big elephant is what? Made up of cell. So we have to study about cell. So cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. A structural that gives a structure, a finite structure that is responsible for the different function as in our body there are lots of metabolism happening every day, every time, such as respiration, excretion, reproduction, circulation. So these all functions are carried out by the function these all functions are carried out by the accumulation of the different kinds of cells in our body. So we need to study about cells. Who discovered cells first? Who was the scientist who were invented, who were discovered the cell? So one scientist whose name is Robert Hooke. He discovered the dead cell in a plant cork. The cork is nothing but a dead parts of a plant, bark of a plant. In that bark, he saw a dead cell under the microscope that he made, and he find a hexagonal shape like structure that is responsible for the different function, and he's named that structure a compartment. That's mean a little room, small compartment, and later he named that structure is cell. So the discovery is made by the Robert Hooke in 1665. Correct. So cellular organization is the defining character of the human, and we can say the living organisms on the earth. Organisms can be unicellular or multicellular. So what is unicellular and multicellular? So uni define as a single, and the multi a more than one or two or three or four. Correct. So unicellular means organism that have a single cell organization in their body. That is called the unicellular organisms. Correct. And the multicellular, as we go higher in the class of Animalia, we can see the complexity in the organisms. Correct. So that is the multicellular. As we go higher, the organisms become multicellular, and that is more complicated and more complex, more evolved. Correct. Okay. Anything that is any living thing that has a less cell component, that cannot be survive. If a single cellular organism lacks a cell, they cannot survive. It cannot survive. So for the survival, it must have a set of cell, a complete set of cell for the survival. So we need to study more about. Okay, so there are different types of cells as prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. So as we seen in prokaryotes, the cells are type primitive. Okay, and the eukaryotic means the cells are of true kind of cells and true kinds of nucleus present in that cells. In prokaryotic cells, the cells do not have a defined nucleus, and eukaryotic, they have the defined nucleus that is responsible for the genetic functioning of organisms. So dear students, we need to study about the two different types of cells, that is plant cells and animal cells. So what is the basic difference between the plants and animal cells? Okay, so you need to remember a trick. I am giving you that trick. That is 4C. 4C you have to remember. The first C, that is cell wall. So in plant cells, cell wall is present, but in animal cells, cell wall is absent. So for now, you have to remember this basic difference between the plants and animal cells. Okay. And the second is chloroplast. So as we know, plants are the photosynthetic, that it makes their own food in the presence of sunlight, and chloroplast helps in that process. So in plants, chloroplast is present, but in animal, we are dependent on plant. No, so chloroplast is absent. And the third C is central vacuoles. In plants, a large central vacuoles is present. 90% of the area that is covered by the central vacuoles in the plants, but in animals, vacuoles are very small. So you have to remember this difference, basic difference between the plants and the animal cells. And the fourth is centrosome. So in plant, centrosome is absent, but in animal cell, centrosomes are present, and it actually helps in the cell division. Okay, so you have to remember these basics of the plants and the animal cells. In next class, we will move ahead on the discoveries of the different cells type and the different scientists who were involved in that process. So for today, thank you so much. I hope you liked it. So thank you so much. Thank you.